first couple weeks I liked, but he plays the same.
Hey all, can you hear me? It's Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Yeah,
Wait.
I can't see you.
Does everybody have their cameras on?
We cannot because the host has stopped it.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Which is fine by me. I haven't showered in a while.
Me too.
So does this control the owl?
No, it's not.
There's an owl not in the room.
No. Might just have to restart the meeting. No. Owl isn't there. It was working. They were all on the screen.
No.
No. There you go.
Anna,
Yeah.
IT's on their way over because we can't get the camera that's in the room to turn on. Do you want to wait to start the meeting or do you want to start and then we'll stop when they get here?
Let's just move forward with the meeting. I'm kind of on a tight timeline this evening. And I'm more than happy to not show my face.
Okay. Okay, then go ahead. Tag, you're it.
Okay. So let's call to order the Tuesday, September 13th, 2022 Fish and Game Commission meeting. Can you call the roll for me, please, Leanne?
It's Angie. Nice to meet you.
Sorry.
That's okay. Commissioner Paulson.
Present.
Commissioner Pilar.
Yep.
Heller.
Yes.
Madigan. Absent. Commissioner Van.
Here.
And Chair Commissioner Anna Newman.
Present. All right, thank you. Do we have any public expression on non-agenda items?
We do have some people here with us today. Do you guys have anything you want to say? No, they're all shaking their heads no. So no public expression.
I see Josh Rousseau is in attendance. Josh, do you have anything that you'd like to say? I know that you're not on the agenda, but I am appreciative that you're back to our meetings. I see his hand is raised as well.
just introduce yourself as
Yeah,
being,
so you should introduce yourself. We'll come back around.
come on in. IT's here, Anna, so just give us a second.
Okay.
I will,
We were
have you just
on,
introduce.
they were talking,
uh,
and then we
your
sat back
name,
down.
You're interested in being a commissioner, for District 2, probably, which would be.
I'm not familiar with what areas the districts are in.
It's the county supervisor district.
It's county supervisor.
Yeah, so you're,
I can look that up.
you're in the Ukiah area, this is in District 2. The other
Yeah, we
opening
had
is,
audio.
We just don't have
Coastal
camera.
Park, which is kind of broad.
I think we have a video through here.
Go from there. And then
I
if
think
you're
it's-
interested in-
I think it's both video and audio through my laptop instead of the owl.
Okay, great.
And when I went into settings, the owl wasn't listed.
Commissioners,
Everything. Talking in and out.
It's, and that's fine. It's, I welcome anybody to participate. It's just, better for everybody.
He is.
Well, there we go. I'm from Pennsylvania.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Man. I lived in Ohio right next door.
Another East Coast, you can
So,
stay in Ohio.
I went to VA for school. Allegheny Airport. Okay. Pittsburgh Institute of Aeronautics.
Yeah,
We're part of GA.
Titusville, just south of, you're about an hour. Right on the Ohio border. Just in, we used to get the people from Ohio.
My son went to school and then back.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's online.
Okay, we're good to go.
Great.
Great.
Is there an option to let Josh Rousseau in? I see his hand is raised.
John?
What did she
Are
say?
you Josh?
No, Josh is on here. Josh
Oh,
Russo.
okay, I'm sorry.
Let him in.
And then
Okay, Josh, you should be able to speak now. Right here on
Yes.
your-
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I think I was invited to talk about how the Urchin project is going. Is that right, Anna?
Yeah, I was just interested in getting you back to these meetings to give updates about how the Urchin project is going. And I know that you've been a sorely missed member here. And now that we're back on track, I thought I would reach out and invite you. So thank you. Thanks for coming.
Oh, great. I do have some updates on the Urchin and on the abalone. I'll try to be quick with the, in 2018, the Mendocino County Fish and Game Commission granted Watermen's Alliance $25,000 to help with urchin removal. And Sonoma County did the same. And we used that money during 2018 and 19 to pay commercial divers to remove purple urchin from Mendocino County. And the results of that have just recently been published by the OPC. Actually, we paid the commercial divers in 2018 and 19, and then in 2020 and 21, the state stepped up and funded them to continue that project. So the results of that were just published by the OPC. Also, the United Nations just published a guidebook to kelp restoration worldwide, and our project was mentioned by name. The funding is currently run out for that project, but Jared Huffman, and I believe Jared Huffman has a bill that he's already has up for discussion, and I believe Dianne Feinstein is trying to pass a bill before she retires to further fund kelp restoration. And there was some money allocated by the state for statewide kelp restoration, but not for our project specifically yet. So we have to wait and see how that goes. And as far as the abalone goes, we've gotten them to add a de minimis fishery to the next fisheries management plan. So currently abalone is quote unquote temporarily closed. What they're doing is they're temporarily closing it until the next fisheries management plan comes into play. And once they approve that and pass that and it becomes statute, that'll be what dictates when the abalone fishery is reopened and how. So currently what we're doing is we've asked them to add a de minimis fishery. We'll initially have a biological de minimis, which is where when the biologist needs samples, say the biologists need 100 samples from Van Dam Cove, they'll issue 100 tags and sport divers will be able to apply for those tags, and we'll harvest the abalone and then turn over the abalone to the department on the beach, and they'll take the whatever measurements and things they need. They'll take the guts and we'll take the meat and the shell home. And as the environment and the species rebound, our opportunity will increase. And in the interim, or not in the interim. So once the environment and the species rebound, we'll be able to increase participation by experimental fisheries. And it'll go like that. And there will be in the fisheries management plan, they'll describe how the fishery will eventually or could eventually reopen to something similar to what we had before, but that is not in the foreseeable future. That's all I have on those two issues.
Great. Thank you so much for that update, Josh. It's good to hear that there's going to be at least some opportunities to get out and dive again. You know, even if it's in the name of science, I know that that's been sorely missed by our local coastal communities. I saw that Patty Madigan, Commissioner Madigan, was on our attendees list, but I then saw that she dropped off. So we'll just keep an eye out for Commissioner Madigan. Do any of the other commissioners have questions for Josh while we have him?
Excuse me, can I ask, is the phone number 326 Patty Madigan?
Not that I'm aware of, no. I don't know that I have her number.
For the caller calling in, can you
Can
say
you guys
who you
hear
are?
me now? Hi, you guys. Can you hear it? This is Patty.
That is Patty. Yeah, we
Okay.
got
Yeah.
you.
Okay, well, so the Zoom didn't work for me, you guys. I tried several times to get on, and then when I got on by phone, the audio and the microphone wasn't working. But I am here and I'm listening in.
Great. Welcome to the meeting, Patty. We just got a great update by Josh Rousseau about all the wonderful work he's doing with the Watermen's Alliance.
I heard it.
I'm so excited to hear that. Keep it up, Josh, and let us know when and if any opportunities come to help. We would love to bring it to the commission and support you where we can there. Any other public comment? Oh, Commissioner Paulson?
Yeah, we have a gentleman in the audience here that is interested in joining the commission, and I'd like him to introduce himself real quick and some of the experience that he could bring to the commission. So go ahead.
My name is Joe Prestino. I live here in Ukiah. I'm a member of the Ukiah Valley Fish and Wildlife Club. I've been a trout fisherman for 50 years and a former business owner in New York. And I'm currently a volunteer on a lot of not-for-profits here.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for doing it.
Great, and thank you so much for coming to our meeting. I'm excited that there's someone interested in filling that seat.
After the meeting, I can talk to you about applying further and
Okay,
where.
great, thank you.
All right, any more comment, public comment?
No more public comment.
All right, we'll move on to the approval of minutes from the July 19th, 2022 regular meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review?
Yes.
Yes.
So we're seeking a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve. Commissioner Van.
I second it.
Wonderful, thank you. All those in favor? Commissioner Van,
Aye.
Commissioner Pellar,
Aye.
Commissioner Madigan,
Aye.
Vice Chair Paulson,
Aye.
and Chair Hurst is aye as well. Thank you. Let's move on to reports. I see our first report we usually take is from California Fish and Wildlife, Dawn White, but I don't see Dawn in our attendees section, so I'll move on to Jennifer Garrison, also from California Department of Fish and Wildlife. Jennifer, do you have anything to report back to us? I believe her hand is raised.
Oh, just a second. Jennifer, you should be able to talk now.
Thank you. Hello, commissioners. Thank you for allowing the department to give an update. We have some exciting news that the Mendocino unit biologist position that was vacated by Tom Batter 8 weeks ago has been backfilled, and our new unit biologist will be starting sometime this month. And so it's my intention at the next Fish and Game Commission meeting to have her introduce herself, along with Carrington Hilson, who is CDFW's elk biologist on the coast. And this is leading up to CDFW will be continuing our collaring effort of elk in Mendocino County, coming after Thanksgiving through, I would say, early February. And we're looking for landowners to allow the department onto their properties to collar elk. If anyone is interested, please reach out to me or to Carrington Hilson, and we will be talking about that more at the next Fish and Game Commission meeting. And that's about all I have.
Great, thank you, Jennifer, for coming. It's always so appreciative that you're here. Tracy, do you have a question for Jennifer?
Commissioner
I
Paul
do.
would
I
like
do.
to- Sorry.
Jennifer, it's Tracy. Hi, from Laytonville. This is very exciting about starting to do projects with elk. And so is there a way that you could possibly do a workshop in Laytonville or something like that?
Possibly. So I guess it depends upon what you mean by a workshop. What are you thinking, Tracy?
Well, maybe we just get a little flyer together and say, Jennifer from, DFW come to talk about the elk collaring project, and then you can get questions and answers from local ranchers and people and such like.
That would be something that Carrington and I could do together. We're actually going to be coming in, and it's my hope that the commission will allow us onto the agenda for November to give a presentation about the work that we want to do and why the data is important to the department, not only for, additional, like to revise elk tag numbers for Mendocino County, but it also informs wildlife connectivity and movement, which is one of my specialties.
Wonderful.
And then, CDFW flew the first helicopter flights to do baseline surveys in 2020. It was the first one in 30 years. And then, so I assisted in finding the locations where, where we're going to fly them. And then in 2021, we were grounded because of COVID. And in 2022, we lost our dollars. So we're not quite sure if we're actually going to be able to do baseline surveys through helicopters. So the first ask to the community of Mendocino is to allow the department to potentially collar female elk on their property come Christmas time. But then the second ask is to allow the department onto their property to fly drones to do baseline counts. And you have to have landowner permission. You can't leave, the drone can't leave the property. But that would assist them greatly in supplementing or replacing helicopter surveys. And so I do feel like we could do some more community outreach to try to get particularly larger ranches. But then from our past conversations at the commission, elk populations in North Redwood Valley on and on to be able to find enough locations for the department to fly drones to be able to do the basic animal counts in addition to collaring.
Yeah, I think some interface with the community will be fabulous. So I'm
Absolutely.
looking forward to seeing the presentation. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're very welcome. And I'm always welcome as your conservation planner covering Mendocino County to come out and talk to people. And always my information is available to anyone who would like to contact us.
Thank you. I think Devin Bauer has a question for Jennifer.
Yes, hi Jennifer. Devin with Mendocino County Farm Bureau. Good to hear you. I would also be interested, sort of to Tracy's point, not necessarily having to host separate meetings, but I'd really like to get the word out if the commission is going to be promoting this topic at a meeting in November, specifically if it is in person. I think we can get a pretty good attendance there, as you know, a large portion of our membership has been following sort of the evolvement of the elk management plan and the counts related with that in the county. I was just going to ask, you know, perhaps at that meeting, if it'd be good to, you know, discuss, you know, the collaring and other activities. Also sort of any, you know, sort of updates related to the PLM programs, the share programs, you know, the counts, those types of things would be beneficial as well. So I also want to offer, Jennifer, if you do have any additional information, I believe you do have my email contact. I'm happy to help sort of work with property owners that I am familiar with to see if they'd be willing to assist with some of the drone observations. So just remember that I could be a resource. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Devin. And I'll definitely be reaching out to you. And then if anyone in your membership can't attend the Fishing Game Commission meeting in November, I am more than happy to come out or do a remote, whatever kind of meeting with some of your membership with Carrington to talk to you and, you know, do a Q&A session about all the different efforts that we're doing here in Mendocino County, specifically around elk and wildlife movement.
Anna, Red Hawk has his hand up.
Oh, thank you. Red Hawk, go ahead.
Yeah, Jennifer, this is to you. Do you have any information on possible number of callers for Mendocino County this year, or specifically for Redwood Valley and Potter Valley?
So I believe the number that Carrington has is 11 Thule elk callers designated for Mendocino County. Currently, the elk plan only calls for collaring of female elk, which later in the future, we would like the plan to be edited to include male elk, because it's the males that are moving more. And so that will help more with connectivity data. But for now, we have 11 collars. I don't know how they're going to be distributed. If I remember the conversation I had recently, I want to say 2 or 3 or 4 Redwood Valley. And then the rest would be distributed between Covelo and Laytonville and Potter Valley. I believe that's it. And then she does have more Roosevelt elk collars, which are much larger, but those are pretty much for the Cincone up on the Lost Coast. And so, yeah, but I would say 11 for the main part of Mendocino County.
Perfect. Thank you for the information.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? All right, we'll move on. My apologies here while I refind our agenda. Do we have our secretary's report?
Yeah, this is Dee. I'm introducing Angie Lane. You guys have heard her a couple times already. She's your new secretary and is in the process. We're in the transition right now for her taking over. So this is Angie.
Hi, everybody.
So don't get confused. You'll probably still hear from me a little bit, but we're trying to turn everything over to Angie. The only thing I have to report out is I'm trying to get in touch to meet with Adrian Thompson about the audit. We received a final notice from the state that we have to turn in the final reports for the grants awarded that were included in the audit findings, or else they'll have to return the money. And the deadline for that is October 20th. So I think there's 4 that we still need the reports for. It's Watermen's Alliance, or Reef Check, not Watermen's Alliance, I'm sorry, Reef Check, Round Valley Tribes, and then Ukiah Fish and Wildlife Club are 3 of them. I can't remember, my mind, I lost it when I was there, but I'll be reaching out to Adrian and to find out what the process is, if we are responsible for collecting the money or if the county auditor will be doing that. So I'll be able to, I'll keep you guys posted on that, but that's all we're working on right now.
Great, thank you so much for that. And also, thank you so much, Angie, for coming on to the commission. We're excited to have you, and we appreciate all of the hard work.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to myself or to Vice Chair Paulson. He's an amazing resource and all of the above. And thank you, Dee, for all of your hard work. It's been amazing. So let's move on to items for discussion and possible action. I know we just spoke about this a little bit, but do you have any more to report? 5A, DFW audit status updates, Dee?
No, sorry, I forgot that this is on its agenda item, but that's where we are right now. It's just the final request from the state, the direction from the state to either get the final reports or collect the money. So that's where we are with that.
Great. And Josh, I just noticed your hand was raised. Do you have a comment?
Yeah, I just want to verify that you don't need any further reporting from Watermen's Alliance, that was just, you have everything you need from Watermen's Alliance? Or?
I'm not sure. Let me look real quick. No, I do need your final report for that $25,000. So you may have submitted it already, and it just, in the transition over the last few years, I don't have a copy of it. So if you can either see if you've already sent it, maybe send me another copy, or write something up. And the most important part of the final report is not only just sharing how the money was used and the success or not of the project, but they want an itemized, either copies of receipts or an itemized accounting of how the money was spent. So if you have any questions about that, we can talk about that after the meeting. If you like, I can give you a call or something.
Yeah, please give me a call after the meeting and let's set that up. I believe I turned it in at the end of the fiscal year when we got the grant. It's 100% of the money went to the commercial divers. Okay. Do you need to know like which divers received money from, because it's,
yeah, the state wants an itemized list of how the money was spent. So it could just be like a spreadsheet listing the divers and how much they were paid on what dates, kind of thing. But we can talk. What's your? I'll reach out to you. I think I have your email address. So after maybe tomorrow or something, I'll reach out to you and give you all the details.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, you guys. I don't know how to raise my hand on the cell phone. This is Patty Madigan. I have a question about these final reports. And it seems to me that that the folks that were recipients of grant funds have not necessarily shown good faith, but also we had a lapse where we had no representation from the county and we weren't holding meetings. Mm-hmm. So part of it is on us that these defaults happened. And so I think what would be good is if there are any outstanding final reports that we use either staff or commissioners to conduct an interview, and that interview would contain enough of the final reporting and so that they would only have to attach that spreadsheet that Dee was speaking of. I think it's incumbent upon us to make sure that all of these reports get submitted because we are sitting on a lot of money that we could be giving out.
It's 100% correct. And that's why I've been trying, I sent out the one letters to all the grant recipients, and then I've talked to a couple of them in the meantime. And I'm just reiterating that if they don't have a copy of what was submitted to the commission previously, like either they didn't keep a copy or they never did a report, I'm just stressing that it just needs to be, it can just be a simple one-page letter, just explaining how the money was used and whether the project was a success or not, and then itemizing how the money was spent to the best of their ability. So we just have something to turn into the state. And unfortunately, with the craziness that has gone on the last 2 years, they could have been submitted to the commission and they've been lost in the transition. But there's nothing,
Right.
and the state really doesn't care.
Yeah.
They just paperwork.
Well, if
So,
there's anything that I can do, I'm happy to try to help any way I can, but I am concerned that this is going to really muck up the works if we don't, submit by the 20th.
Yeah, so I don't know, Randy and or Commissioner Van and Newman, we're going to reach out to the Round Valley tribes and recheck. I don't know how that's going, but if you could redouble that effort, it would be really great.
Yeah, I just reached out
Yeah,
to. Commissioner Van, would you like to speak first?
Yeah, I met with the tribe, and Warren, who was over at, I believe it was the environmental side of the tribal government up there, put a report together. However, it doesn't sound like it got forwarded, and he's no longer with the tribe in that area. And the resources department is going to reach out to him and see if he can, find that final report and resubmit it. So next week, I'll reach out to them and see where they're at with that. And it sounds like we've been given a little extra time regarding the time to turn it in to October 20th. Is that correct? That is the final deadline?
Deadline, yeah. And you can give them my contact information if
Okay.
they would talk to me directly, that's fine.
Okay, great. Yeah, they're really willing to follow through. I know where the project is, and it was a great success. It was with some willow planting out on Mill Creek towards the dump. And I believe they're still, doing some monitoring with that project out of their own, budget with, water truck trying to get the willows to take seat out there for bank stabilization and whatnot. So it was a well-worthy project, in my opinion. And I hope that we can follow through and get good closure on it.
I think it'll work. Well, we have about a month and a half now, so I'll keep working on it.
Thank you.
Great, thank you for that work, Randy. And I've also reached out to Reef Check again. I just sent the executive director another text, and I'll do what I can to make sure that those reports get finalized. I collected a lot of that data, so if worse comes to worse, I'm sure we can pull something together. Moving on to, sorry, these computers are hard to keep the budget straight, or the agenda straight. 5B, discussion and possible action regarding riparian corridors and wetlands white paper by Commissioner Paulson and Commissioner Madigan. This was a wonderful paper. I do have to admit that I didn't get time to read it all the way through, but it looked like it had a significant amount of great information in here. Do either of you want to expand?
Go ahead, Red Hawk.
Okay, I'm hoping everybody got a chance to review the paper, and what I'm asking from the other commissioners is if you approve what Commissioner Madigan and I put together, what I'm asking is to do a vote to forward this to the Board of Supervisors at one of the next meetings. There is, before we go any further, there is a little bit of editing that has been brought to my attention that needs to be done. And it's just basically throwing some dates and resources at the end of the white paper to verify some of the stats that we threw in there. So with that, any discussion from the other commissioners on this, on what their views are, would be appreciated. And if we're all in favor, let's do someone make a motion to move this forward to the Board of Supervisors.
This is Commissioner Peller, and I make a motion to move this forward to the Board of Supervisors.
With the noted edits that Commissioner Powelson mentioned.
Before we move forward, I see that Devin's hand is raised. Devin, would you like to speak now on this topic?
Or I could wait till the commissioners are done talking. I wasn't sure. I just sort of raised my hand. So whatever's preferred.
I think we need to second it and then discussion. Then we vote.
I would like to hear Devin's comments before a vote. Not that I think that will change.
Yeah, we have to second it though. Robert's rules. I'll second it. This is Madigan. We can discuss.
All right, Devin, take it
Okay.
away.
I guess I just had a question. I did read through it. I think it did a pretty thorough job of sort of showing what we currently have in most situations. I guess I did do a little bit of a deeper dive and not a full rabbit hole excursion, but you mentioned, you guys referenced, the sections from the general plan and the UVAP. I just wanted to let you know that, the outs policy through environmental health for septic systems, since you guys did sort of cite some examples in the 3rd district. I can't remember what district it was, I guess 1st and 5th district for septic. I mean, there are supposed to be setback requirements for any new development related to water bodies and things like that within the septic policy for the county. So that's just one thing I wanted to bring forward. And again, I didn't do the deep dive into like the general building code types of scenarios that a lot of our local county planning directives are based on. So I was just going to ask if any of the commissioners had an opportunity to reach out to Director Ackerkrog with planning and building to see if there is some sort of a summary of all these various policies that are on the books. So we kind of know what's already there versus what just really isn't being implemented. So that always comes down to the challenge, I think, in this county is that we can create some amazing documents that sit on a shelf, but it comes down to sort of consistency with explanation to applicants and or potential enforcement as necessary. So that's just one point I wanted to bring up. I did appreciate you including the different examples. I think there's sort of pros and cons with some of the existing policies from the adjoining counties. One thing I did want to point out that I do like the fact in terms of the definition of what is considered to be wetland. I did like the fact that, Humboldt County at least sort of said, this is the specific definition that we're using. I know, Director Madigan can probably touch to this as well. A lot of the times there's so many various agencies, which I believe is referenced on attachment B, that have definitions of what is considered to be wetland. It becomes sort of confusing and or conflicting at times, depending on how many agencies are engaged with this process. So that might be something to consider as well, as if there's sort of a preference perhaps in terms of focusing on one specific definition of wetland. So just a couple of points.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Devin.
Commissioner Powelson has his hands raised.
Commissioner Paulson.
Thank you. Okay, Devin, this is Commissioner Powelson. To answer one of the questions that we've reached out to planning and building is yes, there has been some contact there. And this is kind of why this paper was being presented to the Board of Supervisors is there's been a little bit of pushback saying that they can't do anything until the Board of Supervisors gives them direction. And so there is some significant gaps, as you know, in the general plan in Mendocino County. And so this is just the first attempt to try to tighten that up. And so specifically, you mentioned the septic that was within a floodplain and inside the allowed distance from a creek. That is just kind of being ignored. And so, yes, you're correct. There are laws that are being violated. And so this is, like I said, this is the first step of probably many to get the county going in the right direction.
Go ahead and unmute, Devin.
Thank you. Just a quick follow-up to Director Red Hawk. Are you guys working with a specific supervisor to try to agendize this for a more kind of extended conversation, or was the commission just planning on presenting this under public comment and requesting a future agendized item? I just wasn't sure what the plan was for that.
Correct. Right now, we're going to try to have this put on the agenda. I've reached out to a few of the Board of Supervisors and had no response at this time. So I would like to move forward and make this an agenda item and public comment in the future.
One last comment. I mean, I don't know if this is another option, just because I know that the supervisorial, their agendas get so impacted. You might be several months out from getting this on an agenda. So I don't know if planning and building is sort of the departmental oversight, for lack of a better definition, for this commission, would have any ability to assist in potentially putting something on the agenda, but that's just something else to consider.
Yes, thank you. That will be considered also.
This is Commissioner Madigan again. Red Hawk, did you talk to, or did you reach out to Hatch-Check?
Yes, I did.
He's been out of the
He was
country.
currently on vacation, and we just never had a chance to connect. So I'm hoping sometime this week I will have a contact with him and Supervisor Williams.
Tracy, I saw your hand was raised. Do you have a comment?
Patty did it. That was what I was gonna say. Just thank you. Thank you so much.
Any more discussion on the topic?
So are we looking for a vote now to move this forward?
Yes, the next stage would be Andy to call the roll. We have a motion to accept the white paper with the edits as noted, made by Commissioner Pellar. Sorry, made by Commissioner Pellar, seconded by Commissioner Madigan, I believe.
Commissioner Paulson. Commissioner Van.
I'm in favor. Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Commissioner Madigan.
Aye.
Commissioner Pellar.
Oh, Pellar, sorry. Aye.
All right, great. Thank
All
you guys so
pass
much.
aye. Motion carries.
This is Commissioner Madigan one more time, and then I'm gonna be quiet. I'm happy to reach out to Glenn McGordy. I know him. If that would be helpful, if you have not already reached out to him, Red Hawk.
That would be fantastic if you want to do that.
Sure.
All right, well, thank you guys, Commissioner Paulson and Madigan, for all of your work on this. It's great to see things moving forward on this commission again, especially after so much time stagnant. That moves us to the end of our items for discussion and action, and on to commissioner reports. We'll start with Commissioner Paulson in the 1st District.
Nothing to report.
Commissioner Pellar.
Nothing to report right now.
Commissioner Newman in the 4th District, I have nothing to report. Commissioner Madigan in the 5th.
This is addressed to you, Anna. I wanted to know where to leave the money for the boat launch.
There are 3 Iron Rangers conveniently located around the harbor for your ease and use. I've said this a million times.
Okay, well, I will try to find it. You know, I wanted to not get in trouble. I wanted to launch my kayak and I couldn't find where to leave the money. So
Yeah,
that's all I have to report.
There are 3 Iron Rangers in the front parking lot. There are like yellow posts, or you can slip it through the lot in the door.
Wonderful. And also I wanted to tell everybody that I'm hearing great things about Anna as the harbor master.
Well, they're lies. They're lies.
No, I don't think so. You're shaking things up down in the harbor.
All right. Well,
Oh, and then there's one other thing. The Noyo Center for Marine Outreach and Education has a new place down in the harbor on the North Harbor, and it's where Carini's restaurant used to be. It's quite something if you guys want to check it out. So next time you're in Noyo Harbor, check out the Marine Science Center, the Noyo.
Cool.
Is that your report, Commissioner Madigan?
That's it. That's it. That's all from me.
All right. Thanks so much. I agree. I like the new cafe there. They've done a great job on cleaning that up. Commissioner Van, Inland at Large, what do you have for us?
I'm just going to be continuing to work with the Round Valley Indian tribes to clear up this audit stuff. So, and other than that, I have nothing else to report.
All right, we'll adjourn the meeting on that subject. Before we go, I would like to request that we have Jennifer Garrison on the agenda for a presentation for our November meeting. Are there any other meeting agenda items anyone would like to pass now? Devin?
Just a quick question. What do you guys have the date for the November meeting? Because I was interested in following up on that.
November 8th, 2022 at 6 p.m. It's likely to be a hybrid Zoom and hopefully in person. I miss y'all.
Thank you.
Paulson?
I think you kind of answered my question, Anna. Our next meeting, this is just a suggestion. Let's try to do it in Willits at the library. And then let's really try to make an effort for some other commissioners to attend in person. I know some of us can't. It will be a hybrid also. So the people that can't make it can do the Zoom, but let's really try to make an effort for the commissioners to be present.
All right, any more questions before we go? All right, we'll adjourn the September 13th Mendocino County Fish and Game Commission at 6:50 in the evening. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right, thank you guys so much. And thank you, Josh.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.